Hey everyone, let's dive straight into what has been a tough stretch for the New England Patriots. Last week's loss to the Steelers was a bitter pill to swallow, no doubt about it. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, there's actually a lot to be optimistic about. This team feels different compared to the Patriots of a few seasons ago. The Mike Frabel era is very much underway, and week after week, we're seeing Drake May grow and adapt in ways that suggest this team could be building something special. It's a young roster, learning a new system, and there's a lot of room for mistakes, but also a lot of room for development. Before we start looking forward to the matchup against the Panthers this Sunday, let's break down what happened against the Steelers, focusing on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and see what we can actually take away from that game. Starting with the offense, it's clear that turnovers were the biggest factor in the loss. 5 turnovers in a single game is a brutal stat for any team. And for the Patriots, it's the most they've had in a game since 2008. That alone is enough to turn a competitive game into a loss, but it's not the full story. There's a difference between a team that's struggling because of fundamental issues and a team that is learning to execute in a new system while a few costly mistakes creep in. That's where Drake May comes in. He had his 6th career game with multiple turnovers on Sunday, which is a stat that can't be ignored because whenever he has more than 1 turnover, the Patriots have struggled to find a way to win. This is a young quarterback still learning how to balance aggression and caution, and this stretch is as much about development as it is about results. Protecting the football isn't just on him. Running backs, receivers, and the offensive line all share in that responsibility. But when it comes down to late-game execution, a lot falls on his shoulders, and managing those mistakes will be key moving forward. Looking deeper at the offensive snaps, there were some encouraging signs as well. The offensive line has been performing steadily, giving May consistent protection across all the snaps. Hunter Henry continues to be a reliable presence, even managing to play a majority of snaps despite what appeared to be a potentially serious knee issue. Kahan Booty has been commanding a high percentage of the snaps as well, but it's clear that the team is still cautious with Stephon Diggs, who has been hovering around 50% of the offensive snaps for 3 straight games. There's a sense that the coaching staff wants to gradually ease him back into full-time action, likely due to his recovery from an ACL injury. Meanwhile, younger receivers like Kyle Williams and others are waiting in the wings, showing glimpses of playmaking ability that could be vital if the Patriots want to diversify their attack. It's time to start thinking about giving these young, skilled players more opportunities, both in the passing game and in the running game, because there's talent on this roster that hasn't been fully tapped yet. Speaking of the running game, Rondre Stevenson's fumble issues have been a major concern. He had multiple fumbles in a single game, which is incredibly costly in close contests. Stevenson himself acknowledged the seriousness of the problem, stating that if he can't hold on to the ball, the team doesn't really need him in those situations. And he's right. Ball security in the NFL is non-negotiable. That opens the door for Tavon Henderson to prove he can handle a more significant role. Henderson has been ready and willing to step in, and the question now becomes whether the coaching staff can design plays that allow him to maximize his potential. In the previous game, a lot of the runs were repetitive, limiting his ability to showcase his versatility. Going forward, a mix of draws, screens, stretch runs, and wheel routes could allow the Patriots to take full advantage of Henderson's skill set, while also giving Drake May more manageable reads and options in the passing game. On the defensive side, the snap tracker revealed some significant changes as well. Christian Ellis, the starting middle linebacker, was benched for a portion of the game, which had ripple effects across the unit. Marte Mapu saw limited action, only 9 snaps, while others like Jack Gibbons and Kyle Duggar started to take on more responsibility. Marcus Jones, Robert Spillane, Jalen Hawkins, and Carlton Davis played every defensive snap, showing consistency in the secondary, but injuries and adjustments meant that rotations were constantly changing. On the defensive line, Harold Landry, Glavin Chasen, Milton Williams, and Christian Barmore saw significant playing time, hovering around 70% or more of the snaps. The defensive staff appears to be riding the hot hand, rewarding players who are performing well while also giving younger or backup players opportunities to prove themselves. This constant evaluation is critical in a league where matchups change week to week and where depth can make the difference in a long season. Special teams and situational plays also played a role. Andre Stevenson only saw a couple of snaps late in the game after multiple fumbles, while other contributors rotated in based on performance. The Patriots' approach seems to be giving players a chance to learn from mistakes rather than benching them permanently. This philosophy could pay dividends later in the season if the team continues to build experience and confidence among the younger roster members. The coaching staff is clearly focused on growth, which is important because consistency and execution will be the key to winning tight games, especially as the season progresses. Looking ahead, there's a lot to monitor. Drake May must focus on ball security and minimizing turnovers. The offensive line and skill positions need to find rhythm and chemistry, while younger players need to be integrated more fully to exploit their potential. Defensively, the team will need to maintain flexibility and depth, rewarding performance while adjusting for injuries and underperformance. The balance between coaching patience and accountability will be tested as the Patriots navigate the rest of the season. Every snap, every assignment, and every decision on the field matters, and how the team handles these challenges will define their trajectory. Meanwhile, there's also the question of how to optimize the usage of key playmakers. Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams, and Kahan Booty have all shown flashes of being game-changing players, but the coaching staff needs to find ways to put them in positions to succeed consistently. The running backs must secure the football, create opportunities in the passing game, and help the quarterback avoid pressure situations. The combination of execution, strategy, and adaptability will ultimately determine whether the Patriots can turn close losses into victories as the season progresses. Ultimately, this week presents an opportunity to learn, adjust, and implement changes. Every mistake becomes a lesson, and every success reinforces the system that Mike Frabel and his staff are trying to establish. The team is still young, and development is ongoing, but the building blocks are there. If the Patriots can protect the football, get their skilled players involved, and maintain a defensive structure that can adapt to challenges, there's every reason to believe they could be competitive moving forward. Sunday's matchup against the Panthers will be a test of how much the team has grown from last week's struggles and whether the adjustments made in practice translate into execution on the field. Heading into the upcoming game against the Panthers, the Patriots face a real test of adaptability and execution. Carolina is coming off a dominant performance against the Falcons, winning 30-0, and they bring a defense that can be relentless and opportunistic. This is not just a team that stops plays. They create chaos for quarterbacks and running backs alike. For New England, it will be about preparation, mental toughness, and the ability to implement lessons learned from the loss to Pittsburgh. Drake May will need to manage the game carefully, avoid risky throws, and lean on his skill players in ways that put them in space to make plays rather than forcing contested passes downfield. The Panthers' defense is disciplined and fast, which means that any hesitation or miscommunication on the Patriots side could lead to negative plays, sacks, or turnovers, the very thing that proved costly last week. One area that will be critical is the running game. Rondre Stevenson's ball security remains a concern, and the coaching staff must make strategic decisions about how to incorporate him, while also giving Tavon Henderson the chance to prove he can carry a larger workload. Henderson has shown flashes of explosiveness and vision, but to maximize his impact, the play calling needs to be creative. Running plays cannot be predictable. They need variety to keep the Panthers' defense off balance. Screens, draw plays, outside zone runs, and misdirection can all help Henderson find gaps and make defenders miss. The Patriots' offense as a whole has the athletic talent to make big plays, but it requires trust in these young athletes and a willingness to put them in positions where they can exploit mismatches. Drake May benefits directly from this because when skill players are active and in space, he doesn't have to force throws or extend plays under duress. It's about creating rhythm and balance while protecting the football. Meanwhile, the wide receiver group presents an interesting dynamic. Kahan Booty has been consistent in terms of snap percentage, but there's a clear need to expand the roles of other receivers. Stephon Diggs, coming back from an ACL injury, is still limited to about 50% of the snaps, which may be holding back the full potential of the passing attack. Integrating players like Kyle Williams, who has shown playmaking ability in limited opportunities, could be a game changer. The Patriots must design plays that maximize these players' strengths, allowing them to get the ball in space and force defenders to react, creating natural advantages. With the Panthers' secondary being aggressive and capable, spreading the field and varying formations could be the key to sustaining drives and creating explosive opportunities. It's also an opportunity to test different combinations, see which players complement each other best, and continue the process of development for a young offense. Defensively, the Patriots will need to adjust to Carolina's speed and versatility. Last week's rotation, with Christian Ellis playing limited snaps and others stepping up, showed the value of depth and adaptability. Players like Jack Gibbons and Kyle Duggar will likely see more meaningful snaps, and it will be critical to maintain communication and assignment discipline to prevent big plays. The defensive line rotation, including Harold Landry, Glavin Chasen, Milton Williams, and Christian Barmore, needs to create pressure without overextending, allowing linebackers and defensive backs to maintain coverage responsibilities. Marcus Jones, Robert Spillane, Jalen Hawkins, and Carlton Davis will have to stay disciplined in coverage, prevent explosive plays, and be ready for rapid adjustments based on what the Panthers' offense presents. This team's defensive performance hinges on cohesion, awareness, and the ability to anticipate plays, especially against a multifaceted offense that can run or throw effectively. Special teams and situational plays will also play a role in this matchup. Field position can be decisive in a game where defenses are strong and scoring opportunities are limited. Executing on third downs, making smart decisions in the kicking game, and minimizing penalties will all be critical components of the Patriots' strategy. These small details often define the outcome of close games, particularly when facing disciplined opponents like the Panthers. Every snap and every decision counts, and the Patriots need to be prepared to respond to shifts in momentum quickly and efficiently. This is where preparation, focus, and experience intersect, and where young players can rise to the occasion or falter under pressure. Looking at the broader picture, this is a defining moment for the Patriots' young roster. Drake May's development, the integration of skill players like Henderson, Williams, and Diggs, and the continued evolution of the defensive unit all converge in this game. Success will require discipline, creativity, and execution, but also the courage to trust young talent in critical moments. Mistakes are inevitable for a team in transition, but how the Patriots respond and adapt will be the real measure of progress. If they can limit turnovers, make smart adjustments, and utilize their athletes effectively, there's every reason to believe they can compete against a formidable Carolina team and build momentum for the rest of the season. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill is swirling this week after an unexpected revelation involving SHEDEUR Sanders, the rising star quarterback who has been turning heads at every level of college football. Sources close to the situation claim that Sanders, son of the legendary Deion Sanders, was recently approached with what many would consider a dream opportunity, an invitation to join the New England Patriots. But according to insiders, his response was nothing short of shocking. SHEDEUR said he would never play for them, a source whispered to our newsroom, hinting at a combination of pride, personal principles, and perhaps a long-term vision that goes beyond mere team loyalty. The Patriots, known for their dynastic history under Bill Belichick and their calculated, methodical approach to building rosters, reportedly made a formal overture. Yet Sanders' immediate reaction was reportedly firm and decisive, a flat refusal that left Patriots executives stunned. The rumor, if true, sparks countless questions. Was it the team's style, the location, or a strategic career choice that made Sanders so resolute? Could this be a sign that he's aiming for a team where he can be the undisputed leader, rather than part of a system that values conformity over flair? Or is it simply a case of a young quarterback making a statement about his independence, refusing to follow the path others might expect of him? Fans are already buzzing. Social media is lit with speculation about where Sanders might actually land when he turns pro. Some are pointing to teams with more flashy offenses, where a young quarterback could thrive in a high-octane system. Others wonder if he's waiting for a team that matches his ambition, or even considering a route outside the NFL entirely. One thing is certain. The Patriots may have underestimated the weight of personal conviction when courting one of football's brightest prospects. For now, the story remains unconfirmed beyond the insider whispers. But in a league built on strategy and surprises, this could be just the beginning of SHEDEUR Sanders making waves in ways no one expected. Patriots fans, brace yourselves. This isn't over, but it seems Sanders is writing his own playbook. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.